The first thing that bothered me was the silence. Not normal trail silence, the kind that feels empty. No birds, no wind, nothing. My friend Daniel and I were walking a hiking trail just outside town. It was late afternoon, still plenty of light. But something about that place didn't feel right. The trail was narrow, dry leaves covering the ground. And then I saw it. A backpack, sitting right in the middle of the trail, by itself. Daniel stopped next to me. "Did you drop that?" he asked. I shook my head. The backpack looked old, brown, covered in dirt. It looked heavy, but no one was around. Daniel stepped closer. I felt this strange pressure in my chest. "Man, just leave it," I said. He stopped, looked around. The forest was completely still, not a single sound. Then we heard a branch snap. Not close, but not far either. Somewhere inside the trees. We both turned toward the sound. Nothing, just trunks and shadows. Daniel raised his voice. "Hello?" No answer. Just that heavy silence again. I started getting that bad feeling in my stomach. The kind where your body notices something before your brain does. "Let's head back," I said. Daniel agreed immediately. But when we turned around to walk back down the trail, someone was standing there. A man. Right in the middle of the path we came from. I swear he wasn't there before. He stood perfectly still. Tall. Thin. Wearing a dark jacket. A baseball cap pulled low. His face was partly hidden in shadow. Daniel spoke first. "Hey." The man didn't respond. Didn't wave. Didn't step aside. He just stood there, looking at us. My heart started beating faster. "Sorry, we're just heading back," Daniel said. Still nothing. No words. No movement. Then he took a step. Slow. Leaves cracked under his boot. Then another step. The direction was clear. He was walking toward us. I looked at Daniel. Daniel looked at me. We didn't even have to say it. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "Let's get off the trail," I whispered. Daniel nodded. We stepped into the trees, trying to move away from the path. Dry leaves crunched under our feet. And then we heard it. More leaves. Behind us. He had left the trail too. I glanced over my shoulder and saw him, moving between the trees, following us. Not rushing. Not running. Just walking. Always in our direction. My stomach dropped. "He's following us," I said. Daniel started walking faster. We pushed deeper through the woods, branches scratching our arms, roots trying to trip us. Behind us, footsteps. Always there. Never running, but never stopping. I looked back again. He was closer now, much closer. I could see his face more clearly. He was smiling. Not a big smile, just a small one. Like he was enjoying it. Daniel whispered one word. "Run." We started running, jumping over fallen logs, shoving branches aside. My heart was pounding so hard it felt loud in my ears. Behind us, the footsteps sped up. Much faster now. He was running too. I could hear him crashing through the leaves, heavy breathing. Right behind us. Too close. Way too close. Then Daniel tripped. He went down hard. I turned around. The man was stepping out from between the trees, only a few feet away. He raised his hand, like he was about to grab Daniel. For a second, I thought that was it. I grabbed Daniel's arm and pulled with everything I had. He got back on his feet, and we ran again. Faster than I thought I could run. Suddenly, the trees started thinning out, and we saw a farm fence ahead. We jumped it without thinking, dropped hard on the other side. When I looked back, the man was standing at the tree line, watching us, not crossing, not saying anything, just staring. We ran all the way to the farmhouse and asked for help. The owner told us the trail barely gets used anymore, but he did say something strange. He said a few people had reported finding objects left on the trail before. Backpacks, shoes, water bottles, things that didn't make sense being there. Almost like someone was leaving them on purpose, to make people stop. And there's one part I still can't stop thinking about. The backpack we found on the trail, it was full, but not with food, not with clothes, just rocks, heavy ones, heavy enough that no one would want to carry it, heavy enough to make sure someone would stop and look. I noticed the light first. At first, I thought it was the sun reflecting off something. But then I looked again and realized it wasn't moving. It was deep in the woods, bright, white, too bright to be a flashlight. My friend Marcus and I were hiking back from a small lake just before sunset. The trail was supposed to take about 30 minutes to get back to the parking area. But somewhere along the way, we had taken the wrong path. The trees around us didn't look familiar anymore. The trail felt narrower, older, like people didn't use it much. That's when I saw the light. Through the trees, a steady glow coming from a small clearing ahead. "Do you see that?" I asked. Marcus stopped and squinted through the branches. "Yeah." We walked closer. Slowly. At first it looked like someone had set up a small campsite, but the closer we got, the stranger it felt. There was no tent, no backpacks, no chairs, no fire. Just a single lantern sitting on the ground. Bright. Silent. Right in the center of the clearing, like it had been placed there on purpose. Marcus stepped closer and crouched down beside it. "It's warm," he said. That meant someone had turned it on recently. Very recently. I suddenly felt exposed, like we had walked into something. I started looking around the trees, tall trunks, dark spaces between them. And then I saw him, standing behind a tree, about 30 feet away, half hidden, just part of his face and shoulder visible from behind the trunk. Watching us. I froze. "Marcus," I whispered. He followed my eyes. The moment he saw the man, he stood up immediately. The man didn't wave, didn't say anything. He just stared at us. Then slowly, he stepped back behind the tree and disappeared. Marcus didn't hesitate. "We're leaving," he said. We turned and started walking back down the trail the way we came. Fast. Not running yet, but fast. For a few seconds, the only sound was our footsteps on the leaves. Then we heard something else. Another set of footsteps. Behind us. Not on the trail. In the trees. Walking. Marcus glanced over his shoulder. "Keep walking," he muttered. We picked up the pace. The footsteps behind us sped up too. Still not running, just faster. I risked a quick look back. I saw movement between the trees. The same man, moving through the forest beside the trail, keeping the same direction as us. He wasn't following the path. He was cutting through the woods, staying parallel to us, Watching. My chest tightened. "He's following us," I said. Marcus didn't answer. He just started walking even faster. The sun was dropping lower now. The forest was getting darker, shadows stretching across the trail. Behind us, the footsteps kept coming. Closer. Closer. I looked back again. The man was maybe 20 feet away now, still moving through the trees. His head turned directly toward us, eyes locked on us. Marcus whispered something under his breath. Then he said one word. "Run." We took off, full sprint down the trail, branches whipping past us, leaves exploding under our feet. Behind us, I heard crashing, loud, fast. He was running too, and gaining. My lungs were burning. My legs felt heavy, but I could hear him getting closer. Then suddenly Marcus stopped. I almost slammed into him. "What are you—" Then I saw it. A metal gate. Tall. Rusty. Locked shut. Barbed wire fence stretching both directions into the forest. The trail ended there. Behind us. Footsteps. Very close now. Marcus grabbed the gate and started climbing. The barbed wire scraped against his jacket as he pulled himself up. "Hurry!" he shouted. I turned around. The man burst out of the trees, only a few yards away. For the first time, I could see his face clearly. No anger, no panic, just focus. Like he already knew what he was going to do. He lunged forward, right as Marcus dropped over the other side. I jumped for the gate. His hand grabbed the back of my jacket. For a split second, I thought I was done. The fabric pulled tight, then slipped free. I scrambled over the top and dropped hard onto the dirt road on the other side. Marcus and I ran. We didn't stop running until we reached the main road nearly 10 minutes later. When we finally looked back, the forest was completely dark. No movement. No sound. Nothing. Later, we reported it to a park ranger. When we mentioned the lantern, he sighed, then told us something strange. That trail we ran down wasn't an official trail anymore. It had been closed years ago, because several hikers had reported finding lanterns placed in the woods nearby. Bright ones, always sitting somewhere visible from the trail. Always alone. They never figured out who was putting them there. But the ranger said something that stuck with me. The lantern wasn't there to help people see. It was there to make sure someone would walk toward it. It started with the knocking. 3 slow knocks. Not loud. Just enough to wake me up. I opened my eyes and stared at the ceiling. My room was completely dark. For a second, I thought I imagined it. Then, it happened again. Knock. 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 This time I sat up. My heart was already beating faster. The sound was coming from the back door, and that didn't make sense. No one comes to the back door, especially not at night. I grabbed my phone and checked the time, a little after 2 in the morning. The house was completely quiet. My parents were asleep upstairs. My younger brother's room was down the hall. Then the knocking came again. 3 knocks. Slow. Patient. Whoever it was. They weren't leaving. I slid out of bed and stepped into the hallway. The floor felt cold under my feet. The whole house was dark. The back door was at the end of the kitchen, and from where I stood, I could see the small window in the door, completely black outside. I walked slowly toward it. Each step felt louder than it should. When I reached the kitchen, I stopped. The door was right there, just a few feet away. The knocking stopped. Whoever was outside knew I was there. I stood completely still, waiting. Then a voice came through the door. Quiet. Male. "Hey, can you help me?" Every nerve in my body tightened. I didn't answer. The voice came again. "I think I'm hurt." I stepped closer to the door, but not close enough to look through the window. Something about the voice felt wrong. Not the words, the tone. Too calm, too controlled. "I just need to use a phone," he said. Still calm, still patient. My eyes moved slowly to the window, and that's when I saw it. Not a face, just a shadow, standing very close to the glass. Too close, like the person was already pressed right against the door. I took a slow step back. The voice didn't change. "You there?" No pain, no panic, just waiting. Then I heard something else, a faint sound, to my left, near the side of the house, like footsteps on gravel. My stomach dropped. Someone else was out there, moving along the wall, slow, careful. I backed further away from the door. The voice outside spoke again, a little louder this time. "I can hear you in there." My chest felt tight. Then the door handle moved, just slightly. A small metal click, someone testing it. I froze. The handle moved again, this time harder. Then it stopped. For a few seconds there was complete silence. Then the voice spoke again. Lower now, almost annoyed. "Open the door!" Not asking anymore. A command? At that moment, my phone buzzed in my hand. I looked down. It was a message from my brother. His room faced the backyard. The message said one thing. "There are 2 men outside." My heart slammed in my chest. 2. That meant the one at the door wasn't alone. Then something moved past the kitchen window. Fast. A shadow. Someone walking along the side of the house, checking the windows. The voice at the door knocked again. 3 times. Harder now. Knock. 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 "Open it." The handle jerked again. More aggressive. For a split second, I thought the door might actually open. I ran, straight for the stairs. Burst into my parents' room. My dad woke up instantly when I shouted. Within seconds, the whole house was awake. Lights on, voices, movement. My dad grabbed a flashlight and went downstairs. But by the time he opened the back door, they were gone. The yard was empty. No footsteps. No voices. Nothing. The police came about 20 minutes later. They checked the yard, the fence, the street behind our house, but they didn't find anyone. One officer said something that stuck with me. He said people sometimes work in pairs like that. One at the door, one checking the house, looking for unlocked windows, watching for movement, waiting for someone to make a mistake. And the part that still bothers me the most. The man at the door never once asked for an ambulance, never asked for real help. He only asked for one thing, for someone inside the house to unlock the door.